The Bowling Green Athletic Hall of Fame has 5 new members. One of them is the man whose name is on this building. Kerm Stroh is now in the Athletic Hall of Fame, and Van Wright is here accepting for his father-in-law, Kerm Stroh. And we recently lost Kerm, Van. It was a giant loss for all of BGSU and, of course, your family. But a big night tonight to honor Kerm, and he would have loved this.
He would have absolutely loved it, Todd. He loved this building. He loved this university. He loved this athletic program. This would be a big night for Kerm. I know he's watching, and he's thrilled. I'll tell you right now.
It is a great story about his involvement coming here, as a young businessman working on the radio, calling high school games, and just developing a love for Bowling Green. It's almost, you couldn't write a story like that. Nobody would really believe it.
You wouldn't believe it. And at his funeral celebration Sunday in a town of 100 people, where he grew up, where he was raised, all those things, to come out of that all the way up to BG to this level, to this building, is quite a testimony to his strength and will and hard work.
And I remember when we announced that they would build the Stroh Center that night at Anderson Arena was a huge night. Take us back to those days when Kerm made the decision to do it and announced it to everybody. I'm sure that it was just something he did, right?
Yeah, it's just something he did. Yeah, the last thing on his mind was whether his name would be on a building. He just wanted a new home for men's and women's basketball and volleyball and a place for graduation, Todd. That was probably one of his most favorite things about the building. It was used for something besides athletics. So he went back and did some thinking. He told me, Wright, we got to move on this, and I couldn't agree more. He and I were running the business at the time. We decided to sell the business, and this was now growth of that. Mary Lou, his late wife, Mary Lou, was a big part of it, too. You recall, Todd, on that night of that announcement, that was a big night for her, too.
No doubt about it, and the team came through and beat Kent State that night as underdogs in Anderson Arena. And every time you come in this building, of course, we think of Kerm. I'm sure for you it happens every day in all kinds of locations. But the legacy is here. But talk about the legacy of Kerm's work here at BG that wasn't in the athletics field.
Kerm and his family produced so many different gifts to the university. Some are obvious, like this. Other scholarships for students from our area where we live in West Central Ohio. Outreach to students in need at that moment. He did a lot of different things like that. Some things well known, some things not so well known. But he just loved this university, Todd. Everything he did here was to move the university forward and our students forward. That's when he was on the board of trustees, Todd. That was his entire focus.
And of course, if he had been here tonight, he would have loved seeing all the others going in tonight. Some of Kerm's favorites, I'm sure, over the years.
Lauren Prohaska. I mean, my gosh, that was Lauren's one of Kerm's all-time favorite players on the women's basketball team. Of course, John Birdie, a tremendous baseball player, and of course our pioneer, Dr. Campbell in swimming, and this entire 72 men's track team. He was involved with Bowling Green way back at that time. He knew all those names. He was a part of that. So his growth in Bowling Green went for decades.
Well, Kerm, we certainly miss Kerm tonight for sure, Van. But it's great to have you here accepting for him, and we honor him tonight and induct him in the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. It's a great night to be a Falcon.
Great night to be a Falcon. Thank you, Todd.